Some stories hit you right in the chest. Before you even realize your breath caught, that's exactly what happened out on the range that day. The heat was the kind that shimmers, dust swirling under every boot, and the only thing thicker than the tension was the smell of spent gunpowder and cheap aftershave. You could say it started as a joke, but looking back, it was more like a test nobody realized they were about to fail. "Hey honey, you lost." That was the first thing, lobbed out casual as a rock from a wall of cocky SEAL candidates. All eyes went to the young woman quietly working by the targets, her back to them. Not a flinch, not even a twitch. She just kept pulling those shredded paper targets off the frames, hands in worn work gloves, hair tight as a drum in a bun. No rank on her fatigues. No swagger in her step. You know what I mean? She was like a shadow, moving with purpose but somehow blending right in, invisible to anyone not paying real attention. High up in the tower, Master Chief Reynolds watched through binoculars, his face all lines and stories. He saw things the boys missed: the perfect, efficient way she knelt, the discipline in the angle of her back, little details that scream real deal to anyone who's been in long enough. But he didn't say a word. Not yet. Sometimes silence is the best teacher, especially for those who mistake quiet for weak. Drake, class leader and the loudest in the yard, couldn't resist the open stage. "We're shooting the M210 today. That's a big boy gun. Don't want you getting scared, sweetheart." More snickers, more sideways looks. Morgan, her name tag said it, plain as day didn't bite. She stacked the old targets, boots crunching in rhythm, and strode past them, a stillness to her that's hard to describe, like a storm gathering but holding its breath. Reynolds dropped his beanos, finally ready to get the show rolling. His voice crackled over the PA, all gravel and steel. "Qualifications live. Drake, you're up." And you could just feel the air shifting, every set of eyes locked on Drake as he swaggered up to the rifle. He did all the right moves, at least on paper. But then, something of fidgeting with the scope, muttering, shots flying wide. The monitor didn't lie. Miss after miss. The bravado shrank into confusion, then frustration, then straight-up blame. "This rifle's busted. Someone dropped it. No way to make that shot." Silence real, heavy, until Reynolds called out, "Drake, stand down." Morgan, front and center. And that's when everything flipped. The guys looked at each other, confusion written in sweat and disbelief. "She's just range maintenance," Drake sputtered, "but orders are orders." Drake stepped aside, boots heavy with embarrassment. Morgan took the rifle, not a word, not a glance. You ever see someone pick up a thing and it just belongs to them? That's what it was like. She dropped to a knee, ignored the bipod, adjusted the optic with a tiny, precise twist, something Drake missed completely. One deep breath, one squeeze. The shot cracked perfect bullseye at 600 meters. Then, in a smooth rhythm for more shots. 5 targets. 5 hits. No wastid motion. By the time the last shell hit the sand, the whole range was quiet enough to hear the wind whistle through the target frames. The guys, whose seconds before looked like kings of the world, now stood frozen, jaws slack. Drake stared at the monitor, then at Morgan, then back again. You could see Ithis reality crumbling. All his certainty, all his best of the best pride, undone in less than 30 seconds by the woman he barely acknowledged a minute ago. Master Chief Reynolds finally left his tower, crossing the range with a deliberate, measured walk. Nobody dared move. He didn't even look at Drake or the others. He stood in front of Morgan, then turned to address the stunned candidates. "You see this woman?" he started, holding up a tablet glowing in the sunlight. "You thought she was here to staple paper. Let me tell you who you just insulted." He let it hang, then read her file, not the dry, formal version, but the real deal. Specialist Alice Morgan, 75th Ranger Regiment, Sniper School honor grad, current record holder for longest confirmed combat shot. Bronze Star with Valor. She is not range maintenance, she is your instructor. Then, with a sharpness that cut right through the tension, the Master Chief gave Morgan the kind of salute you only see in movies, a gesture heavy with respect, not just for skill, but for everything it represents. "On behalf of Naval Special Warfare, my sincere apologies for the ignorance of my trainees. Welcome to Coronado. Morgan nodded, calm and steady as always, handed the rifle back, zeros confirmed. Master Chief, then turned and walked away. No gloating, no smile, just a job done right. Word spread like wildfire. By sunset, everyone on base knew. The firing lane had a new name, Morgan's Line. But what really changed was Drake. Gone was the cocky strut. In its place, a quiet, focused humility. He spent hours cleaning rifles, listening more, talking less, treating every job, no matter how small, with a new respect. He'd learned, the hard way, that true professionals don't need to announce themselves. A week later, Drake found Morgan alone, calibrating optics. He stood at attention, not making a show of it. "Ma'am, I was wrong. Thank you for the lesson." She met his eyes, not with triumph, but with a simple, "We all have something to learn, petty officer. Focus on your sight picture and breath, control, the rest will follow." It was technical, but it was life advice too. No drama, no bitterness, just passing on the standard. Years roll by. Drake rose to chief petty officer, the kind of leader others listened to. New candidates would stare at a faded target on the wall, 5 perfect holes, a legend told in whispers and warnings. "Look at this," he'd say, his voice sure but softer. "Competence doesn't need to shout. Your assumptions are your biggest enemy." And just like that, Morgan's story became part of the doctrine and institutional folklore that changed more than just one day on the range. Morgan never sought the spotlight. She just kept doing the job, quiet, relentless, making everyone better simply by setting the bar. Her legacy wasn't a plaque or a medal. It lived in the changed hearts and sharper minds of every soldier and sailor who heard her story. Because at the end of the day, true strength isn't about noise or swagger. It's about the calm focus, the silence your skill demands. So what do you think, folks? Have you ever seen someone underestimated, only to flip the script when it mattered most? Was the lesson fair, or do you think the system is too quick to judge by appearances? Drop your thoughts below. Let's talk about respect, about what real strength looks like, and whether justice always finds its mark.
Xin chào các bạn, mình là Trinh, mình phụ trách viết content. Trên đây là những công việc của mình, là mình lên mạng xã hội tìm hiểu những video
Next one? Alright. Thank you, man. Hey, if you guys have any trouble, let somebody know. Please.
After the tree to hold on to. Yeah.
Yeah,
Use the fence.